What's going on, guys? Today, I got a book review. I'm going to talk about a book that I just read from Tim S. Grover called Relentless. This was recommended to me by a mentor of mine, somebody who I really respect, John Sonmez. And this book is great because Tim S. Grover is not like just some self help guru. This guy was the trainer for Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, amongst other world class athletes. And me as a kid, I grew up idolizing Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan I thought was, I mean, he was just the greatest basketball player of all time, the greatest athlete. I'm not even a basketball fan. I just love the way he played the game. I love the way he scared the shit out of all of his opponents. I love how he was just tenacious, ferocious. He wanted to win at all costs. And I actually think there's something missing in our society. There's something like we're sort of afraid of that sort of just unbridled masculine energy, that focused aggression. And Relentless, basically, this whole book talks about that. It talks about the dark side, not to be afraid of it, to embrace it, and to really go there when you need it, right? Especially when you're going for a championship, when you're trying to be the best at anything. He has this concept, cleaner, a closer, and a cooler. So in reverse order, so the cooler is like your average person. They just sort of get by, doing whatever. I mean, they take care of their business, whatever it is, but it's nothing remarkable. It's nothing spectacular. The closer is somebody, maybe it's the top 20th percentile, maybe top 10 percentile of any really endeavor. This is my interpretation of it. It's somebody that you can be counted on, that's good, that it's clutch, but really they're not the top dog. The top dog is the cleaner, and from my understanding, and I think the cleaner is somebody who just sort of cleans house. Like Michael Jordan. I mean, he was the sort of guy that, like, when everybody else didn't know what was going on or what they needed to do, they looked to him. And that was a really important concept that I got from this book. Was like, if you really want to be the best at anything, you have to be that guy. You have to out-train everybody. You have to outwork everybody. You have to be more tenacious, be more ferocious than everyone else, and not be afraid of that. For a long time, that I've sort of curtailed my ambition. I've curtailed the things that I wanted to do around certain people in my life because I thought, I wasn't allowed to do that, or that wasn't cool, or maybe I was made to feel some kind of way about it, like there was something wrong with me. And I actually don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think in our society right now, with everybody getting trophies and stuff, sort of mediocrity is what's rewarded, and it's wrong. There's no way we would have ever built a society this great if that was the attitude leading up to it. But of late, that seems to be the case. And what I love about Tim Grover is he doesn't pull any punches. He really just goes after it. He goes after you, and he challenges you in this book. And he really tries to distill what it was that made Michael Jordan great, what it was that made Kobe Bryant great. Michael Jordan, he was very instinctual from the book, from what I understood. He obviously did tons of work. He outworked everybody, out-trained everybody else. But he just understood basketball. He understood his place on the court. He understood how to win. He understood what he needed to do to win, and he wasn't going to settle for anything else. There's an attitude in the book. He talks about, like, Michael Jordan forced you to go up to his level. He never went down to yours. And that's like, I think about that. And I'm like, damn, man, that's intense, man. Thinking about, like, school and everything that I was exposed to, just like growing up in this culture, was like we become so egalitarian, and I think it's actually destroying us. Especially as men are hierarchical. So it's like, we need a hierarchy. We need to climb higher than the next guy. And if he beats us, we got to climb higher than him. And if he beats us in a race, or he gets a hotter girlfriend, or he makes more money, or he gets the higher position, like, we always want to one up the other guy. And that's absolutely essential in transcendence. That's essential in becoming the best version of yourself, right? You have this role model, this ideal. And he can be your competitor. He can be your worst enemy, but you want to overcome him. You want to beat him. There's a notion of overcoming the father, killing the father. In many ways, we have the father that we're born with, but then we also have fathers outside, like surrogate fathers, that we meet in our lives, and we choose those. whether he's a master, whether he's a mentor, whether he's some sort of somebody that we idolize, like Michael Jordan for me. Even though I wasn't even an athlete, I mean, I played football, I played tons of other sports, but I'm an actor. So um, there was really no reason aside from the universal appeal of witnessing someone like that. And I had the pleasure of seeing Michael Jordan, not live, but while he was actually playing. I would watch the games with my father, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. I'll remember it forever. But Tim S. Grover, this is an exceptional book. If you're ever feeling one of two things, if you're ever feeling like you just don't have the motivation or the drive to do what it is you know you need to do, this book's definitely going to inspire you to do that. Obviously, no one book is going to be it. You got to read 1,000 if books are the way that you get your information and your inspiration. And the other one is, if you are somebody who is relentless by nature, but maybe felt guilty about it, or felt like they shouldn't pursue their life goals with that sort of tenacity, this is the book that makes you feel like, oh man, there's other people that are out there. It's okay to be this way. And I just read a book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, which I'm going to do a review on. And one of the main tenets of the book is you have to accept your nature for what it is. Like, sometimes when you're a nice guy or you're trying to fit in, you're trying to be civilized, like you put those other maybe unsavory, or by today's standards or the standards of your specific society, those unsavory aspects of your personality, you put them in the closet somewhere. You don't bring them out for fear that you would be rejected, or people wouldn't accept you, or maybe you wouldn't be able to get the job you wanted or the career you wanted. And basically what he's saying, Dr. Glover, in that book is like, no, that's who you are. And you need to actually embrace that in order to be a completely integrated man. And Tim Grover talks about that in this book. He talks about the dark side, and like, it's okay to go to the dark side. You need to be going to the dark side. You need to get there in order to be in the zone. And the zone, I guess you could say it from a perspective in terms of watching a basketball game or something, is when Michael Jordan, there's 4 seconds left on the clock and he knows he's going to get the ball. He needs to be in the zone. He's won so many game-winning shots that way, or brought his team back from defeat when he came back from retirement and won 3 more championships after the fact of being away for almost 2 years. You need to be in the zone. And I attribute that in terms of like ancient hardware, probably when we were hunting as hunter-gatherers. Like we needed to be really focused on the movement on the horizon, on the plane, not only for the prey that we were hunting, but also for the predators that were stalking them and us. And that's what I think the killer instinct comes from, and why it's so important for men not only to develop it, but to be very in touch with it. I heard in a interview with Joe Rogan, what's his face? Can't Hurt Me. David Goggins talked about man should never be completely civilized. He says he should be 20% animal, something to that effect. That resonated with me. That makes a lot of sense, because it's true. You might have to defend your life. You might have to defend the life of your loved ones. And if you don't have access to that killer instinct, that animal nature, you're never going to be able to do it. It's just not going to happen. I've had the pleasure of getting punched in the face by men who knew how to punch other men in the face, fighting other men that were very aggressive when I trained in MMA. And I played football, and one of two things happens. Either you fold, or something ancient wakes up inside of you, and you fight because you have no other choice. And that's an instinct that if it's hidden, or if it's hid away, it's not just something you just can just snap on, right? Like, it has to be a practice. It has to always be just below the surface. And obviously, you want to focus it in a positive direction. You don't want it to destroy the things around you, the people you love. But it has to always be there. And I follow a guy online, Andrew Tate, and he has this attitude. He's really relentless, this guy, and he's always talking about more. And he was a four-time world champion. He's just an extraordinary example of a man, and he's in his mid-30s. He's already a millionaire. He's got some of the hottest fucking girlfriends I've ever seen in my life. Tons of money, cars. Uh, it seems like he's surrounded by people that he really cares about and they really care for him, and it seems to fuel him. Now, I don't know him personally, just from what I gather, though, he seems to be the real deal to me. And all those things are just material possessions, but they mean something. Like the fact that you can afford X car, the fact that beautiful women choose to be around you and not around the other guy, the fact that you have the discipline to become a world champion at anything, the fact that you can run successful businesses, the fact that you have powerful friends means you're the sort of man who has that stuff. You're the sort of man who has the character to be able to attain that and maintain it and build upon that. And that's character, that's everything. And so much of what he talks about in this book, and I don't know of any other athletes who have better character than Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Really, I think that's what he's talking about is really his character. Those guys were workhorses. I mean, just workhorses. They outworked everybody, man. And that's what I aim to do myself, is to be a workhorse, to really bust my ass and work my ass off. Because I've been really lazy in my life before, and I've suffered for it. And it was unnecessary, because if I had just chosen to get up and to do it and to be relentless and to go after it every single day for something that I really wanted, I'd be much further along than I am now in life. But you can't go back. All you can do is to move forward. But that's what I'm trying to do. I read these books, and somebody who I admire offered it to me, and so I read it, I did the work on it, and then now I want to give it back to you. So if you get a chance, pick it up, Tim S. Grover, Amazon. It's definitely well worth the money. And so look out for more of these book reviews, because I read a ton of books, and I want to share the information with you. And subscribe. If you like the content that you heard or you're watching, subscribe and pass this along to your friends. Thanks a lot. Peace.